Okay, just for your information, there are some of the participants for the Nalanda Master's course, Nalanda Diploma course also. And Nalanda Master's course is a little complicated, meaning that it runs for 4 years, and because of which, under the undertaking of Tibet House, Delhi. So unless, because of the little complication not getting teachers for that matter, the Nalanda Master's course we cannot really organize on the annual basis, and of course the space and other issues are there. Whereas Nalanda Diploma course, this is just for 1 year, and we try best to make sure that it is made more regular. Regular meaning every year, annual. So those who are interested, the enrollment opens in October, around October, and the commencement of the course will happen like in December or most likely January 2020, January. And so that prepares you to do the Nalanda Master's course. But the point is that now, because that this course is available, the rule, for the rule I don't have much say. There's a board there. For Nalanda Master's course first batch, I was very flexible, more hours in my hand. And now there's like a board who are very experienced. The point is that only if somebody has done the Nalanda Diploma course will be entitled to do the Nalanda Master's course next batch. So the first batch, lucky, just a foundation topic very quickly, and then one does not really wait that long. But the next batch, this is the requirement. Only if somebody has done the Nalanda Diploma course will be entitled for the Nalanda Master's course next batch. Okay, this is what I'd like to inform you. Okay? And not only you, should there be people who are interested, genuinely interested, you can just inform them. And even just to get information, even that is good. Not necessary that you have to do it. Even to get the information, what topics have been covered there, all you will know from the website. Okay. Okay, we are on the reference number 67, page 38. Page 38, reference number 67. First, well seized and not tainted with miseries, the first of the three qualities of the cessation aspect of Sagada. 139b. Since Sagada in the form of cessation is not the basis for suffering, it is well seized, means that it is not mixed with suffering. It is due to seeing this. Why it is so special that it is well seized, that it's not mixed with sufferings, because the suffering originates from the self-grasping ignorance, and this cessation is brought to by the opposite of the self-grasping ignorance, which is the wisdom of selflessness. It is due to seeing the selflessness, or due to the effort of repeated familiarization of selflessness, which was seen before. So the point is that from this, as I said earlier, the aspect of the Sagada, or the quality of the Sagada, distinguishes the Sagada's cessation from the cessations of those who have no realization of emptiness. Reference number 68. Second, the second quality of Sagada, cessation free of relapsing to samsara. So this distinguishes the Sagada's cessation from the cessation of those of the learners, those of the learner practitioners. What do you mean by learners? What do you understand by learners? Learners meaning there are 5 parts: gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva, 5. The 5 you can apply to the Shravakas, 5 to the Pratik Buddhas, 5 to the Bodhisattvas. So in the context, the morning when we were reciting Gade, Gate, when we were reciting that is from the point of view of the Mahayana, meaning the Bodhisattva path. So whereas otherwise, we can apply the 5 paths to all the three, the yanas or the systems. Now, learners meaning, learners means you keep aside the no more learning. No more learning means, so now you don't learn anything. So the first 4 are referred to as the learners. Learn and learners. Those who have to learn. Learners. So who are the learners? Path of accumulation. Those in the path of accumulation. Path of preparation. Path of seeing. Path of meditation. These 4. The learner paths. The path of the learning path. Learner path. The first 4. And for the Bodhisattvas, the 4th one. What is the 4th one? Path of meditation. Path of meditation we split into 10 bhumis for the Bodhisattvas. 10 bhumis. Okay, and the bhumis you are bound to, or you have come across the mention of the bhumis. Then if you have not, you are bound to read those materials on the bhumis. Bhumis, there are 10 bhumis, and there's many ways of classifying bhumis. 10 bhumis, 11 bhumis, 12 bhumis, 14 bhumis. Very standard version in the sutra system is 10 bhumis for the bodhisattvas. Then in Tantra, various versions are there according to the different texts. So for the bodhisattvas, in the sutra system, for the bodhisattvas, how many bhumis are there? 10 bhumis are there. And the 10 bhumis are the bodhisattvas, the Arya bodhisattvas. What do you understand by Arya bodhisattvas? The bodhisattvas who have reached the path of seeing and above. Path of seeing or above. This is the Arya bodhisattvas. Now, so bodhisattvas above path of seeing, what are they? What paths are there? Path of seeing and path of meditation too. The path of seeing and path of meditation, okay, to make it very simple, path of seeing is always first bhumi. Path of seeing is always first bhumi. Oftentimes I make it a little, when I say something it becomes more complicated. First bhumi, no. The path of seeing and path of meditation combined together and split into 10. And then again I explain it, people are confused. To make it very easy, first path of seeing is always first bhumi. Path of seeing is always first bhumi. Then path of meditation you split into 10. Path of meditation you split into 10. The first of the path of meditation is first bhumi. Which means within first bhumi there is path of seeing as well as 1/10 of the path of meditation within first bhumi. Okay, the high school. From high school then you go to college. High school, how many classes are there? 4. Huh? Hey. So Malaysians in high school, how many classes are there? How many? 8. Then where's junior school? Huh? Okay, Singapore. 7. High school. Okay. Okay, 7. Which means that within high school, the same category high school, there are the 7 classes are there in Malaysia. In Singapore? 2. So there are 2. Right? So likewise, under the, say, the first bhumi, there are 2. All path of seeing, and the first tenth of the path of bhumi is, first tenth of the path of meditation is the first bhumi, right? Okay, then the remaining, the bhumis, the bhumi 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, this is how we classify them. Then okay, now, for the bodhisattvas, even though you're a learner, for the bodhisattvas, which are the learner paths? Yes, Kim? Learner's path for the Bodhisattva. Mike.
I think it's from part of seeing till
Okay,
the
learner's
10th ground.
path.
10 ground.
Okay, learner's path begin from path of accumulation. Yes, path of accumulation. Then path of preparation. Then path of seeing. Okay, path of meditation. Path of meditation. Within that, there are 10 bhumis. When you reach the 8th bhumi, you achieve arahatship. When you reach 8th bhumi, for the bodhisattvas, you achieve arahatship. But you are a learner with respect to the Mahayana path. You are no more learner with respect to the lower path, the Shravaka path, Pratigabodha path, but then you are still a learner with respect to the Mahayana path. Okay, so when we speak about the learners, we think about the Shravakas learner path, which is all the first 4 paths, Pratigabodha path, all the first 4. Just keep aside the path of normal learner. All the remaining are the path of learners. Whereas for the bodhisattvas, when you speak about this, the second quality of the Sagada cessation, second quality, which does not return to samsara, does not relapse to samsara, that is for the bodhisattvas, we have to keep it till 8th bhumi, 7th bhumi. 8th bhumi is the arahat. So then from there, bodhisattvas not come to samsara. Right? Okay, some people, they say the bodhisattvas are greater than these Buddhas, because the Buddhas, they already left samsara, and bodhisattvas, they come to samsara. Have you heard this? Did you hear this? Some people, they say bodhisattvas are greater than the Buddhas, because the Buddhas, they left the samsara. And bodhisattvas, out of great compassion, they come to samsara again. Did you hear about this? Yes? Anyone else? Yes, this is quite, what do you call it? A naive understanding of the bodhisattva concept. Right? Okay. So bodhisattva, even if you leave samsara, when you leave samsara means you are no more in samsara. Right? It is as though like we get the feeling, very naive, mundane feeling that, okay, now he has left the home. She has left the home, means not coming to the home. This is not like this. Say you are here, and your self-grasping ignorance is gone. This is where you left samsara. Right? It's not that you have been to somewhere else. This is how the naive thinking comes into play, where, okay, now this person has left this institution, abandoned the institution, institution suffering, because he's not there, she's not there, he left. Right? It's not like this. Where you left the self-grasping ignorance, that is, you left the samsara. You are still interacting with sentient beings. You are helping the sentient beings. To become a Buddha is million, trillion times more beneficial in helping sentient beings than the bodhisattva of the 10 bhumi. So therefore, to achieve Buddhahood even 1 second ahead of time would be an incredible benefit of sentient beings. For us, if you, each one of us as an individual, if we achieve Buddhahood 1 day ahead, 1 year ahead, 1 lifetime ahead, so many beings are connected with you, karmically connected with you. They cannot achieve Buddhahood. They cannot be liberated until you are liberated. There are so many beings karmically connected with you. So we have a huge responsibility. So unless you become Buddha, unless you become enlightened, they keep roaming around. The moment you become enlightened, all these people who are very strongly connected, somehow they're connected with you, they become Buddhas because of you. So therefore, we have huge responsibility. Okay. 140, for the non-arahats, like experiencer of 7 lives. Experience of 7 lives meaning there is one particular sangha. Okay. I will not go too into detail. Okay. Sangha, when you speak about the Sangha, there's a mention of the 8 Sanghas and 20 Sanghas. Okay, 20 Sanghas is more from the point of view of the Abhisamalankara, the text. There's another text where the detailed explanation of the 20 Sanghas, 20 Sanghas is found there. Then whereas, commonly speaking, there's mention of the same 20 Sanghas we can think of in the context of 8 Sanghas. 8 Sanghas, to know the 8 Sanghas, meaning Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, then Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam or Sangha. So that is, say the Buddha is like the doctor, then the Dharma is like the medicine, Sangha is like the nurse assisting us. Okay, so this Sangha, what exactly is this Sangha? To understand it, it is like those who are already in the form, say, you want to go to state of fearlessness, nirvana. You want to go to state of infinite happiness, Buddhahood. How do I know? I'm so weak. How can I go? I need inspirations. Who are the inspirations? Not the Buddha there. Buddha already reached there. Who are the inspirations? Those who are near you. Those say you are in the 0, those who are in the first class, second class, third class. So some in the gate, some in the second gate, some in the third gate. So these people give you inspiration. Otherwise, Buddha, yeah, of course, he's very special, she's very special. Whereas those who are very close to you, gate, paragate, closer to you, okay, if I put all effort, I also become like you. Then you see that they are rigorously going towards the Buddhahood. You seek inspiration from them. So these are the ones who assist you to go along with them towards Buddhahood. So that is Sangha. And Sangha, technically speaking, what is Sangha? Technically, yes, any being who's an Arya, any being who's an Arya, the precise understanding of Sangha is any being who's an Arya. Arya meaning whether you are monk, nun, lay person, it doesn't matter. Anybody who realizes emptiness directly. Anybody who realizes emptiness directly is the real Sangha. This is the final meaning of the Sangha. Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, Pratik Buddhas, even the lay devotees, if they realize emptiness directly, they're also Sangha. This one. This is a technically correct answer. Sangha's meaning is the Sangha. So this one. Then that what represents them is somebody who is actually engaged in their go-to practice, the monastics. And then nowadays, say for example, even in Singapore, Malaysia, wherever you form your own groups like TBC group, you study together. Then the ABC group study together, and then Malaysia, I don't know what group. Right? So groups, you form group. Okay, LCD, LDC. LDC or LCD? LDC. Losantapa. Okay. So in my mind, automatically Lama Tsongkhapa is coming, not Losantapa. So this is the same. Okay, so what I'm saying is that this you form, and then you say Asanga. Okay, this is also fine. But the technically correct Sangha is somebody who realizes emptiness directly. Okay, with this in mind, there are 8 Sanghas. To know the 8 Sanghas, it doesn't mean 8 Sanghas. For example, in this group, do you agree with me that there are 2 kinds? There are 2 kinds of person, males and females. Is it correct or not correct? It doesn't mean that there are only 2 people, right? Males have many, females have many. Likewise, 8 Sanghas, meaning 8 kinds. Each of them have multiple, hundreds, thousands can be there. Okay, 8 kinds, 8 Sanghas. 8 Sanghas, to know the 8 Sanghas, we need to know the 4 fruits. 4 fruits of the practice of the Dharma. 4 fruits. The 4 fruits are 1. Stream entra, fruit of stream entra. Fruit of stream entra. I'll explain this. Fruit of stream entra. Next is fruit of one's returner. Fruit of one's returner. Next, the fruit of no more returner. Okay, then the fruit of Arhat, fruit of stream enterer, fruit of once returner, fruit of no more returner, and the fruit of Arhat, 4. Okay. Now let me explain each one of them. Of course, it is a very technical, the understanding, the demarcating lines amongst each of these 4. But to make it simple, it is like, say for example, if you want to go to Bay of Bengal, do you know where Bay of Bengal is? Right? Bay of Bengal, the water, the ocean. If you want to go there, and if you are in Gangotri meaning Himalayas, where the river Ganga starts, from where the river Ganga starts. If you happen to be there, and you should be going to Bay of Bengal, you don't know how to go there, so the best thing for you to do is jump into the river, jump into Ganga. You enter the stream. First one is, hey, what's the first fruit? Stream enterer. First you jump into the stream. That is a stream enterer. This stream will take you to, first you'll take you to, from the Gangotri, the stream enterer, it'll take you to the, what is that? Haridwar. It'll take you to Haridwar. That is once returner. From there, then it will take you to Rishikesh. This is no more returner. Then ultimately it will take you to Bay of Bengal. This is Arhat. Final goal. You're getting it? So the first one is stream enterer. First you jump into the river stream. That is stream enterer. Then it will ultimately take you to Haridwar. This is once returner. Then you continue going there. It will take you to the Rishikesh. No more returner. From there it will throw you into or take you into Bay of Bengal. This is Arhat. These are the 4 fruits. You're getting it? Now, once return, first, the stream enterer means you just enter into the stream. That is a part of seeing. Part of seeing, you just enter into the stream. Okay, enter into the stream. And within the part of stream, it's not necessary. Within the part of stream, the first entry can be some bypass. Some people, they bypass the stream enterer. They go into the Haridwar directly. Okay, there are some. Okay, I don't want to go into technicalities. First one is the one stream enterer. To simply put, you just enter into the stream. You just enter into the Arya's path. Then once returner. Once returner means that your karmic accumulation, your karmic state is such that although you are practicing so much, you have to come to the desire realm once. You have to, before you achieve arhatship, you have to come to desire realm. You have to take birth in desire realm once returner. You take birth in desire realm once, either you achieve enlightenment, the arhatship or nirvana while in desire realm, or you from the desire realm you take birth in the formless realm, you achieve nirvana there. Which means that you have to come to desire at least once. Then you achieve arhatship here, there, whatever. That's up to how your karma determines and your efforts determine. Then no more returner. No more return means you are still in the desire realm. Then when you die, you will not return to desire realm. You will not return to desire realm. You will take birth in the formless realm and then achieve nirvana there. Those in the desire realm practicing the dharma, you already have the reality, the wisdom of emptiness, direct experience of emptiness, and then you cleansing your mental defilements. Then your situation is such that for you to achieve arhatship, for you to achieve nirvana, you will not, when you die, you will not have to come back to the desire anymore, no more. So what do? Either you die, you achieve enlightenment here, nirvana, in desire you die, you will not come back. Or even if you don't achieve nirvana in this life, then you take birth in the higher realms, form realm, formless realm. There you achieve nirvana. This is no more returner. And finally, Arhat. That is when anybody who discards the self-grasping ignorance, that is Arhat. Okay, the four sanghas. Okay. So, of the four sanghas, the Arhats, non-Arhats, like experiencer of seven lives. Experience of seven lives meaning within the stream enterer, there are many kinds again, many kinds. One of which is the stream enterer, who is the experiencer of seven lives, who have to come back to desire realm 7 times. Right? Okay. For non-arhats, like experience of 7 arhats, do they have cessation? Hey, the arhats, sanghas, do they have cessation or not? Sanghas who are yet to achieve arhatship, do they have state of cessation? Yes, no? Path of seeing, do they have cessation? This morning we said, right? Path of seeing, they eradicate or they have the cessation of the acquired afflictions. We said it this morning. Okay, so the part of, they say, for the part of seeing, likewise for the part of meditation also, Shravakas, Pradika Buddhas, part of meditation, they have the cessations. And these cessations cannot guarantee them not to come back to samsara. Even though they have the cessations, still after dying, they have to come back for 7 times to desire realm, 7 times. Then after this, they may have to go to the formless realm more times. In other words, they have to come back to samsara, even though they have the cessation, but they have to come back to samsara, which means that their cessation is not a cessation which allows them to not to relapse to samsara. They have to still come back to samsara. They are still in samsara. You getting it? Okay, this is number 2. Let's see, 140. For the non-arhats, like experience of 7 lives, birth, and falls, such as attachment. Falls, attachment, aversion, so forth, attachment, all arise again, which means you have the involuntary birth. Birth meaning involuntary birth in samsara, and the falls, such as attachment, so forth, means you are samsaric. All arise again, and thus they are referred to as returners. Particularly, for example, say, for the desire realm. On the return to samsara. Okay, so this returner and the no more returner, they're slightly different. No more returner, do they come to samsara or not? Do they return to samsara or not? No. Do they return to samsara? Do they not return to samsara, or do they not return to desire realm? Do they not? We talked about the 8 sanghas. Okay, we still yet to finish that. We talked about the 4 fruits. Now, because there are 4 fruits, there are 4 kinds of people who are enjoying these fruits. They are known as the 4 abiders. Abider of the stream enterer, abider of the once returner, abider of the no more returner, abider of the arhatship. 4 abiders. So, and those who are struggling to achieve these 4, not abiding, not yet achieved, they are struggling to achieve this form. They are qualified. They are qualified into these 4 fruits, but they are struggling. They are known as the enterers. Enterer of the stream enterer, enterer of the once returner, enterer of the no more returner, enterer of the arhatship form. 4 enterers and 4 abiders. Total 8. These are the 8 sanghas. From these sanghas, if you speak from the point of view of the Shravakas and Pradika Buddhas, keep aside the arhats. Although some of them are non-returners. No more returner. What do you mean by no more returner in this context? No more returner, meaning in the context that they will not return to desire realm. they still return to samsara. So here, stanza 140, all arise again, and thus they are referred to as returners. This returner is returner to samsara. And if you want to precisely talk about the stream enterers, like the non-arahats, like experience of 7 lives, they have to return to desire realm 7 times. If they return to desire realm, do they return to samsara? If they return to desire realm, do they return to samsara? Of course, desire realm is the best example of samsara. Yeah. Since Sugatas of cessation have abandoned the seat of the view of self, now, Sugata of cessation, it has the second quality. Sugata of cessation has the second attribute. This is the attribute not to relapse to samsara, not to come back to samsara. Since Sugatas of cessation have abandoned the seat of the view of self, which means a self-grasping ignorance, the seed of the self-grasping ignorance that is terminated, so therefore they will not come to samsara anymore. They are indeed not the returners to samsara. Okay, so this is about the second attribute of the Sugata in the context of cessation. Okay, next. What is the antidote through which the seat of the view of the self meaning self-grasping ignorance, is abandoned? Okay. Say it again. 141 plus, no, 141, yeah. 141 and 142a. 141, there's no A and B. 142, AB. 102a, okay. Okay, so now, this is a very important point. The 141 and 142, this is a very important point. The opponents say that, okay, say how to get rid of this self-grasping ignorance, seat of the self-grasping ignorance, if we don't want to come back to samsara. How to get rid of that? Anyone? Anyone? How to get rid of the seat of the self-grasping ignorance? Active seat. By introducing the wisdom realizing emptiness. Wisdom realizing emptiness. Now the opponents, what they say is that wisdom realizing emptiness, which wisdom realizing emptiness? The very slowly arising that is happening in Chen Sui temple? Slowly coming, or the very fast one, which is the direct realization of emptiness, direct experience of emptiness, not the conceptual, non-conceptual wisdom. Okay, so now, and that not only non-conceptual wisdom, okay, let's say non-conceptual wisdom. So, non-conceptual wisdom, is it the one which can counteract the self-grasping ignorance? Yes, no? Okay, why do you think that this is the remedy, this can eradicate the self-grasping ignorance? Why do you think? What makes you think that the wisdom of non-dual wisdom of emptiness, direct experience of emptiness, can override or can eradicate the self-grasping ignorance? What makes you think that? Very quick. Do you understand what I'm saying? If there is 1 kg of black paint, 1 kg of white paint, which will override the other? 1 kg of black paint, which is like the self-grasping ignorance. 1 kg of white paint, which is like wisdom of emptiness, direct experience of emptiness, which will override the other if you mix the two. Then self-grasping ignorance will win over the wisdom of emptiness. Right? What makes you think that self-grasping ignorance will get rid of the white, will get rid of the dark, or the self-grasping wisdom of emptiness will get rid of the self-grasping ignorance? What makes you think that? Do you understand what I'm asking? Right? These two are equally powerful, yes? These two are equally powerful. For us, self-grasping ignorance is so powerful, right? It will not easily say no, it will not easily say yes, sir, to the wisdom of emptiness. It's so powerful, so intense. Wisdom of emptiness at the most, is, for example, there's some incredible great enlightened beings. They achieve enlightenment within 1 lifetime, 10 lifetimes, 16 lifetimes, and so forth. But self-grasping ignorance, we learn this for innumerable lifetimes. So that is much more powerful than the wisdom of emptiness. So how can you say that wisdom of emptiness can override or get rid of the self-grasping ignorance? Yes? Kim?
The wisdom of emptiness is grounded on reality. It's
The wisdom of
grounded
emptiness
on
is?
the truth. The truth.
It's grounded on
The
truth.
truth, yes.
What do you mean by grounded on truth?
It's grounded on the truth, which means it's reality.
Huh?
It's, the truth is the reality, the way things really exist.
Yes.
So in that sense, it is strong. In the sense,
Truth is strong. Truth exists
the wisdom of emptiness.
since the time immemorial, but the wisdom of emptiness never come to us. Truth is very
but
strong
the
since then.
the truth is always there, even though it's not discovered by us.
Yes.
So in that sense, there's a strong foundation. It's always there.
Yes.
Whereas the other one is more shakeable. The ignorance.
But the truth is with
Self-grasping.
us since time immemorial, so it never works. Self-grasping ignorance has
But we
has
didn't
been
discover it,
winning
right?
the... Huh?
We didn't discover it.
Ah.
We didn't discover it.
Ah.
So once we discover it, we realize emptiness. Once we discover it, it's not about volume, but once we discover it, we should overcome our ignorance.
Very good. Thank you. Very good. Okay. Say, the two things are like, one is like on the iceberg. Self-grasping ignorance is like, although very intense, spontaneous, it is like on the iceberg. The ground is very shaky. It is not grounded on truth. It is, in other words, better would be to say, it is not grounded. It is not grounded. It does not have the ground whose apprehension tallies with the reality. The ground does not ground. It is grounded on, say, thought process or a mind whose apprehension does not tally with the reality. So the ground is very shaky. Whereas for the wisdom of emptiness, the ground is very stable because the apprehension of the wisdom of emptiness tallies with the reality. It is grounded on the reality. And the reality remains as truth forever. So the wisdom of emptiness, although it is very newly introduced, and self-grasping ignorance, although it has been with us for all these time, but if the wisdom of emptiness is, say, of the equal strength as that of the self-grasping ignorance, then the wisdom of emptiness is bound to win over the self-grasping ignorance because the ground is very stable. It is grounded on the truth. It sees the truth, and the truth never changes. Whereas self-grasping ignorance, it is not grounded on the truth. It is grounded on the fake thing, misperception. So they see that what I'm seeing is not really there. So it shakes. Okay. 141, 142a, page 38. The wisdom of selflessness fuses with its object, which is the true reality. Wisdom of emptiness fuses. What it sees is the reality. What it sees is the object, which is the true reality. And it is mutually fuses, meaning that what it sees and the reality, these two are one. Fuse, these two are one. What it sees and the reality, these two are one. And it is mutually in exclusion with a view of the self pertaining to its apprehension of the object. This is what we said yesterday. Self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. These two are directly in opposition with respect to the object of apprehension. We said yesterday. Okay. Because of which the self-grasping ignorance can be eradicated fully. Reference number 69. Third. Okay, what is the third? Third is the cessation of all. Cessation of all. The third attribute of the Sagada. Third attribute of Sagada, which is the cessation of all. Okay, that it is characterized as a cessation from the point of view of having eradicated all the defilements, not partly. Not only afflictive, but also the cognitive obscurations. All obscurations are eradicated. Number third quality of Sagada, cessation of all defilements and the imprints. Imprints meaning the active imprints as well as the inactive imprints. Active imprints meaning afflictive obscurations, and the inactive imprints meaning the cognitive obscurations. 141, 142b. Okay, it should be 142b. Okay, it's fine. Although devoid of afflictions and freed of samsaric illnesses, the lower arhats meaning Shravaka arhats and Paritika Buddha arhats. These two arhats, although they are devoid of afflictions, they already gotten rid of afflictions, and they are freed of samsaric illnesses. Samsaric illnesses mean samsaric demerits. They're already freed of these, but are still left with the faults of body, speech, and mind. So arhats, Shravakas and Paritika Buddha arhats, they still have the faults of body, speech, and mind. Okay, it is said that with the body, what faults do they have of the body? For example, it is said that there are some of the arhats, before they become arhats, they must be like what? The shepherds. And then being shepherds, they have nothing really to do. Once the animals are on the grass, then they have nothing to do. What they do? They play hanging on the trees. Right? Some shepherds, they do that for fun. Okay, then they come in contact with Dharma, and then they become arhat. So the habit is still there. They are already arhat, still they jump on the tree, they play like the monkeys. This is because of the habits. Once you become Buddha, the Sugadahood, once you experience Sugadahood, all these habits are gone. These habits are because of the cognitive obscurations. Okay, and then what are the words? Defective speech. Defective speech, what arhats have? Defective speech, for example, okay, did you notice some people, right? A guest comes, guest is not too nice. Okay, you talk, and the guest leaves. I'm so lucky that he's gone. I'm so happy that she's gone. Right? So this kind of habit is there. And this habit builds up. Even after you become arhat, you said, the person's gone, oh, I'm happy that he's gone. Right? All these bad habits of speech automatically comes out. These are because of the cognitive obscurations. They don't mean it. This, the ill will or the agitation, these are not there, but it's just a habit coming out. Right? Okay, for example, this morning or yesterday, I said Ani. When did I say this? Yesterday, right? I did not mean to use the Tibetan word, automatically coming as imprint. Right? Likewise, for the arhats, it happens. Even the speech, which the common people would consider it as not really a good speech, out of habit, they come out, although they don't have the intention. These are because of the bad habits of speech. Okay, and the mind, for the mind, let's say, seeing things as objectively real. No apprehension, or object of appearance and object of apprehension. Were you able to see the distinction? Did we do that? We did last year. No, distinction between the object of appearance and the object of apprehension. We did last year. I said, okay, a few days ago. It's as though like how you show your face, as though like you have never heard it. Yeah, so I thought it was last year. Okay, so object of appearance and object of apprehension. So self-grasping, the objective existence. Objective existence doesn't exist. Yet, it can be the object of appearance and it can be object of apprehension. When it becomes object of apprehension, it becomes the mind. That mind becomes the self-grasping ignorance. So, when the objective existence becomes the object of apprehension, that becomes afflictive obscuration. Let me say this again. There are two objects of the mind. What are they? Object of appearance and object of apprehension. When the objective existence becomes the object of apprehension of a particular mind, that mind becomes self-grasping ignorance and thus afflictive obscurations. Whereas, if this objective existence becomes the object of appearance, not the object of apprehension, then it falls under the category of the cognitive obscurations. So arahats, although they do not have the objective existence as the object of apprehension, they still have the objective existence as the object of appearance. They still have the cognitive obscurations. You getting it? Shall I say it again? Okay. Okay. First, let me put it in an easy way. A mind which apprehends, I'm not talking about the object of apprehension, object of appearance. A mind, if a mind apprehends objective existence, then that mind becomes self-grasping ignorance, and thus automatically afflictive obscuration, because it is mistaken with respect to the object of apprehension pertaining to objective existence. On the other hand, if there is a mind to which the objective existence appears, but the mind does not engage in it, mind does not apprehend it, mind does not apprehend the object to be objective existence, but the object appears as objective existence, then this error, objective existence appearing, that falls under the cognitive obscuration. In other words, don't say that it is cognitive obscuration. Don't say that it is due to cognitive obscuration. It is not. It is due to. Otherwise, compassion, the wisdom of emptiness, right? Say all conceptual minds, okay, except for the non-dual wisdom of emptiness, in the case of sentient beings, except for the non-dual wisdom of emptiness, to all minds, objective existence appears. Objective existence appears to all minds, except for the Buddha's mind and the non-dual wisdom of emptiness. Even if you are in the ten bhumi, even if you are a ten bhumi bodhisattva, if you are not having the non-dual wisdom of emptiness at that point, then whatever mind is coming to your mind, objective existence continues to appear. This is due to the cognitive obscurations. Okay. Yes, when you are going to a non-dual wisdom of direct experience of emptiness, at that point, objective existence does not appear to you, except that mind. Otherwise, where there's non-duality is not happening, all minds, the objective existence appears. Okay, so that is the error. That's the error of the mind. Yes, Sean? Mike?
Just out of curiosity, so if in our daily life, right, when things appear truly existent, but we don't necessarily get
grasp at
anything,
or apprehend it as objectively
real. So
real.
that point, certain things that we grasp at, that is apprehension happening. So if you don't grasp at other things, that the apprehension is not happening.
Okay, this is interesting question. Very good question. Okay, let's say I don't like flower, right? I look at the flower, and the Bruce Changjubla gives me some flower. Bruce, I don't really like flowers, so I don't grasp at the flower. Chocolate, I grasp at it. Huh?
That is still considered grasping because that's aversion. That's aversion.
Okay. Then you passed. So therefore, the first thing is, this is I don't like it. Already there's grasping in the air. Okay, Shan got it. Already there's grasping. Meaning, I don't like means you see this objective real and you are being pushed by it. Grasping is there, right? Okay. Now, once you know this, you say that there's still a grasping there, and then having understood this, and still you say that there's appearance happening, no grasping there, which means that it is not a self-grasping ignorance. So there, the mistake is happening only on the appearance level, not on the apprehension level. So that mistake falls under the category of cognitive obscuration. Very good, yeah. Yes.
This of seeing things as dream, right? So, for instance, if you come in contact with an object which you through assistant and you apprehend, then you apply what you learn, seeing as dream, and who's the one apprehending, right? So during that process, for maybe 3 seconds, you stop that grasping bit. You stop apprehending the object.
Stop apprehending it as object real.
So this exercise is trying to reduce our habit of apprehension.
Yes, exactly. Of course. Yes, this is the best exercise to reduce the habit of grasping at things, apprehending things that object real. This is the best exercise. Yeah. Okay. Simply because we say that, okay, this is a nice flower, doesn't mean that there is apprehension of objective existence happening. For example, if you say that, okay, this is a beautiful flower, we will use this as Geshe always needs the flower for example, right? We'll use this, we'll keep this, or take it there in the class. If you see this, now you're holding it, physically holding it, and coming to keep it there. Okay, don't throw it away. This is very important. So there can be self-grasping ignorance, they may not be self-grasping ignorance. Knowing that it is illusion-like, within the illusion-like, this illusion-like person, Dorji Damdul, he needs the illusion-like example, right? To talk about the illusion-like emptiness to the illusion-like people. So in the absence of the illusion-like the object as an example, then he cannot talk about emptiness so well, right? So there, although we talk about, okay, keep it, this is very important, it does not necessarily involve self-grasping ignorance. With the reason, with the purpose. Without the purpose, I like it, finished. Self-grasping is automatically there. I like it. Simply because of that, there's self-grasping ignorance there. With a purpose, otherwise, it is like dream. You will never say that once you wake up, I like this. You will not hold on to what you dreamt, generally speaking, right? Yes.
So due to the very strong habit, say I really like the flower and I grab the flower, right? I have no choice but apprehend it. So while I do this exercise, I can only stop it for 3 seconds where I don't apprehend. Then as to further practice, can I say, okay, for the sake of sentient beings, for the sake of Vajita, I shall grasp it as an excuse. Since I still have to...
If this excuse is self-grasping. If not excuse, it can be free from self-grasping.
So to make use of this habit which I have not gotten rid of, grasping.
No,
okay,
that's up to the individual.
Just enjoy it for the sake of sentient beings.
No, so that's up to the individual. Finally, the Buddha said, you are the master of yourself, right? You deceive yourself, excuse, entirely up to the individual, right? And somebody said, oh, samsara is happy. Why are you coming to teach emptiness? Samsara is... No, who said come out of samsara? You are happy with samsara, stay there. Right? It's up to the individual. The point is only if you say that samsara is not a good place, I want to come out of samsara, how? Then these steps are taught, not to anybody. Not to say that, oh, I like it, right? And then you look for excuses. If you look for excuses, no need to excuse. Just say that this is very beautiful, you keep it. Right? Hold it as objectively real. Keep it there. The point is that how to get out of this. And for that matter, if we are looking for excuses, which means we have not realized emptiness. If you really see this as a bunch of atoms, forget about emptiness. Even if you see this as a bunch of atoms, instantly your attachment to this flower will dissolve. If you see this as a bunch of atoms. Okay, look at the person sitting next to you, quick. Hey, all of us, look at the person sitting next to you. Sean is smiling. Look at the person sitting. Hey, Regina, look at the person next to you. Wow, how Regina looks at a person very nice, like this. Okay, so what I'm saying is everybody is smiling. The fact that you smile, if it is purely to make the other person happy, right? Otherwise, if I don't smile, the person will be sad. That is a different. Otherwise, automatically, if the smile comes, this is because we are seeing the person's objectively real. You're getting it? And now imagine, if you see the other person, do you agree with me that the face, looking at which makes you smile, that face is nothing but a bunch of atoms. Do you agree with me or not? Do you agree with me or not? This is a fact. If you see the face in a bunch of atoms, you will not smile. If you smile, it is time for you to go to a mental hospital. Just seeing the atoms and you smile. Right? So therefore, if you see a bunch of atoms, that's it. Bunch of atoms, you will not smile. Likewise, if you see emptiness, that is even 100 times more powerful. Right? Seeing a bunch of atoms, instantly you will stop smiling. Your emotional stir stops. If you see the same object as empty of objective existence, it's just a label given from the object. There's nothing really there. If a tinge of this experience comes to you, why do I have to really possess, oh, I like it, this is so nice. Why? Nothing is really there besides what my mind thinks, right? Okay, if you're looking for excuse, guaranteed one is not real as emptiness. Okay. Okay, we are on page 39, stanza 142b. Although devoid of afflictions and freed of samsaric illnesses, the lower arahats are still left with the faults of body, speech, and mind due to cognitive obscurations. They are also left with a lack of clarity in teaching the path. Right? So how the Buddhas teach and how the Shravakas, Pratik Buddhas, they teach is very different. The clarity is missing because of the cognitive obscurations. Sagada is indeed the cessation of all, as it is the result of perfection of practice. You perfect it in the wisdom of emptiness, because of the force of bodhicitta. Not only the solid garlic like the metal stains are removed, even the smell, subtle smell of the garlic, even they are also removed. Because of the force of the bodhicitta, practice of wisdom of emptiness, perfected the practice of wisdom of emptiness due to the force of bodhicitta. In other words, the Sagada's quality of Sagada's cessation is marked by having eradicated all the defilements along with these subtle stains. Reference number 17. Yes. The arhats, lower arhats. Yes. Okay, this morning we talked about the three attributes of the Sagada cessation, and each of the attributes it tells us how the Sagada is different from the others. The first attribute, which is well ceased, distinguishes the Sagada cessation from the cessation of those who have not realized emptiness. Then the cessation freed of relapsing to samsara distinguishes the Sagada cessation from the learners, the learner's cessation. Then the cessation of all defilement and the imprints distinguishes the Sagada cessation from the lower arahats. Very good. Okay. Now, page 39, reference number 17. Second, rejecting the qualm that the faults cannot be eliminated for good. Okay, this is interesting. Now the faults, meaning the afflictions, cannot be eradicated for good. This is the opponent's view. And they said that, okay, tell me, you the followers of Acharya Dharmakirti, tell me, what example do you have? What example do you have who has eradicated all the faults? What example do you have? The one who has transformed into the reliable guide. Who's that? Buddha Shakyamuni, right? Okay, so what they say is that no, Buddha Shakyamuni has not eradicated all the faults because he speaks. He talks. Buddha talked or not? Buddha gave 84,000 teachings, right? He talked, Buddha talked. So the moment you talk, the intention, desire to talk arises. Desire to talk arises, right? Okay, many years ago, I was in my 20s, and I was in a restaurant, and the restaurants were quite big, and the people were all sitting like whole one bench or sofa, not really sofa, what do you call it? Like a bench, whole one bench occupied, scattered here, everybody occupying the whole one three-seater, one person sitting everywhere. And then the two boys came, very young boys, college boys came. They came and they looked around, seeing that all benches, they were occupied by some people, they left. Again, after a while, they came. Then I said they were looking for space. I also occupying one space. So I invited them, come stay here. They came. There were about 3 boys, very young boys. I may be like end of, like what, the close to 30 or 20 something, 28, 29. The boys must be 24, 25. And then the one boy was smoking. He was supposed to be the head of these 3, the boss. Then he asked me, "You're a Buddhist. Tell me the essence of Buddhism." Essence of Buddhism. And then I was trying to talk about the Buddhist philosophy like this. And then finally it came down to achieving freedom from suffering. He said that freedom from suffering is impossible. This boy said, freedom from suffering is impossible. I said, why? To be freed, you should be freed of all form of attachment, aversion, so forth. That is impossible. I said, why? Even the greatest saints have attachment. I said, why? Even the great saints, they want enlightenment. They have the attachment to enlightenment. Right? If you don't have the attachment to enlightenment, you will never achieve that. The moment you have it, you cannot achieve that. If you don't have the attachment to enlightenment, you will not achieve enlightenment. And if you have attachment to the enlightenment will not be achieved because that attachment is there. Wow, that's amazing. So likewise, what they're saying is that the Buddha has not eradicated mental defilements. He still has the desire to talk. Because he's talking. We can see that. Right, this is what they're saying. Very simplistic. Okay, let's see. Reference number 70, stanza number 141, 142. Some Jaimini, Tibetan Gelpokpa, philosophers, they claim that since the Tathagata speaks, the Tathagata meaning the Buddha, speaks, flaws are not fully eliminated from him. Okay, now Acharya Dharmakirti is saying, this is erroneous reasoning, as the accuracy of the counter-pervasion is questionable. If you speak, you should have the defects. This is not correct. Okay, Tathagata, he is not free from the defects because he speaks. If this is the reason that you give, this is not a good reasoning because it does not fulfill which of the 3 modes? Hey, say the Jaimini philosophers or the practitioners, system followers, they said that the Tathagata is not the fully enlightened one because he still has defects. Tathagata is the object. He still has the defects because he speaks. Okay, this is the reason. Now tell me, is this a good reason or valid reason or not valid reason? Huh? Valid reason. Hey, not valid reason. How it is not a valid reason? Why it is not a valid reason? Because it doesn't fulfill the 3 modes. Which of the 3 modes is not fulfilled? Huh? Second and third. How? What is the second? Whatever fulfills the sign should fulfill the predicate, but in this case it doesn't fulfill. Whatever fulfills the sign does not fulfill the predicate. Whosoever speaks may not necessarily be having defect. It's not necessary. So that pervasion is questionable. Okay, 143. The thought that flaws are not fully eliminated. Is it because that, okay, this is very important for us. Very important for us. Now, it's a follow-up from the earlier stanza. You think that the Tathagata has not eradicated the flaws or the defects. On what reason? On what basis you think that the Tathagata has not eradicated the flaws? Are these the following reasons? 1, the thought that the flaws are not fully eliminated. Is it because that they are permanent, that the flaws are permanent? If the flaws are permanent, you cannot change the flaws. So one will have the flaws all the time. Or that the means to overcome the flaws, are non-existent. There's no means to overcome the flaws. Or no one knows, although the means are there, but no one knows what this means, what that means is. or no one knows the means. Okay, now, so the same thing, the same thing Kyudo Rinpoche put it in a very systematic, the 5 points. What reason do the opponents, so this, what I have put here is from Kyudo Rinpoche's text, commentary. From Kyudo Rinpoche's commentary, it's not mine. It's from Kyudo Rinpoche's commentary. What reasons do the opponents have to hold the view that cessation of false is not possible? Is it for any of the following reasons? 1, the false such as attachment are permanent. If it's permanent, what do you do? We cannot remove that. Number 2, there are no antidote to overcome the false. Even though the false are not permanent, the false are impermanent, but antidotes should be there. Antidotes are not non-existent. What can we do? There are no antidotes to overcome the false, even if they are impermanent. Number 3, even if the antidotes are there, there's no one who has the knowledge of the antidotes, even though the antidotes do exist. Number 4, there's no one, even though there is the knowledge, but nobody is interested in this. There's no one interested in knowing the antidotes, even though they have the ability to learn the antidotes, and the antidotes do exist. Number 5. And then even though they are interested to learn, but then there's no teacher, there's no reliable guide to guide them, although aspirants are there. Okay, what reasons make one think that the flaws cannot be removed? Stanza 144. The flaws have causes. The flaws are not permanent. Yes. C. Oh, yes.
In stanza 142C, it mentions the counter pervasion. Why is that so?
Say it again.
The stanza 142C, 141-2-2C.
Yes.
The last line mentions the counter pervasion only.
Okay. The accuracy of the counter pervasion and the pervasion is same, right? But why counter pervasion said there? Okay, let's work on the counter pervasion. Okay, what's the counter pervasion? Anything which does not qualify the predicate does not qualify the sign. Okay, what is the predicate in this case? Let me say this again. The Tathagata is the topic, has not removed the false because he speaks. He speaks. What is the predicate? Has not removed the false. So, those things which does not qualify the predicate, which means has not removed removed. Not removed is removed. If somebody has removed the flaws, then will not qualify the reason. What's the reason? He speaks. What's the opposite of that? Not speak. If one has removed the defects, the flaws, then the person will not speak. This is a counter force, the counter pervasion, right? Speak. This is not true, right? Even if somebody has removed the flaws, doesn't mean that the person will stop speaking. Okay, we go to page 40, 144, stanza 144. The flaws have causes. The flaws are not permanent. The first question, number 1. Flaws are not permanent. Flaws, because the flaws come into being by causes. What causes? For example, the contaminant karmas arise from afflictions. Afflictions arise from inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention from self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance arises from the earlier moments of the self-grasping ignorance. So keep going like this. These are all the flaws have their respective causes. Now, familiarizing with the antidotes of the causes. What is the antidote of the causes? Hey, what is the antidote of the causes of the suffering? The wisdom of emptiness. Familiarizing with the wisdom of emptiness as the antidotes of the causes can seize these flaws, can seize, can stop, can exhaust, can stop them meaning stop the causes of the flaws. Knowing the nature of the causes of flaws also indicates the knowledge of the antidotes. And how do we know that such antidote is there? If you know the nature of the flaws, opposite of that is the antidote. The flaws, the nature of the flaw is self-grasping ignorance. So the opposite of that is the wisdom of emptiness. So this is something which we can answer. All these, the earlier 5 questions are responded here. Then the reference number 71, 72. Fourth, establishing protector of favorable benefit for others, following the insight into Sagada. Okay, now from the great compassion or the altruism, we already deduced the teacher. From the teacher, we deduce the Sagada. Now from the Sagada, we're going to deduce the protector. We're going to deduce the number 4, protector. So let's see. Reference number 71, 72, establishing protector. Protector of favorable benefit of others, following the insight into Sagada. From Sagada, we're going to deduce the protector. So Sagada is the favorable benefit for the individual, the self, and the protector is the favorable benefit for others. 2 benefits. Okay. 145. The protector teaches the path. Okay, how does the Tathagata protect the beings? By teaching. Okay. The protector teaches the path which he has experienced perfectly. The protector teaches the path which he has experienced perfectly. The wisdom of emptiness which he himself has experienced perfectly. And when he teaches, okay, for example, some of the professors, when they teach, they may not teach fully. Right? Some of the professors may not teach fully unless you give the full scholarship. They may teach you fully. Because they say the feeling of love and affection is not there. Right? Whereas the Buddha will teach one, the Buddha knows what he is to teach the beings. Because what stops him from knowing the reality is the mental defilements. Mental defilements already gotten rid of. Sagada of the cessation is achieved. Okay. The protector teaches the path which he has experienced perfectly because he has already eradicated the defilements which stop him from teaching the path accurately. He has already eradicated the mental defilements. What makes us think that he has eradicated mental defilements? Because he has achieved the Sagada of the cessation. Okay, protector teaches the path which he has experienced perfectly. Experienced perfectly meaning that he knows exactly what to teach. There's no obstruction to him from teaching the correct path. Because all the obstructions are gotten rid of. All the defilements are gotten rid of. What made you think that he has removed all the defilements? Because he achieved the Sagada of cessation. Sagada there are 2. Sagada of cessation and Sagada of realization. Okay. And also expectation free for results or for benefits, ruled out his telling lies. Even though he knows everything, he may not teach you the correct path, he may tell you lie. Because we often, even though we know the reality, we know the truth, we don't tell the truth, we tell lies. Why do we tell lies? Because we have some expectations, right? Okay, if I tell the truth, then his business may grow, right? Then my business may go down. So you have expectation that your business should not go down. Whereas for the Tathagata, there's no expectation other than to benefit others. His mind endowed with great love, all efforts were invested purely for others' benefit. So therefore, there's no reason for him to tell lies, number 1. Number 2, he knows everything because all the obstructions which stop him from knowing, omniscience. What are the obstructions to his omniscience? What are the obstructions to his omniscience? Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. All are removed because he achieved the Sagada of the cessation with 3 attributes. Okay, it is because of this, because of his having attained the Sagada of cessation, with this we know that he has eradicated all the defilements self-grasping ignorance, and the subtle stains, because of which he knows everything. And he eradicates self-centered attitude. He has the infinite love towards the beings. When the mother loves the child so much, and when the mother knows everything, mother will teach everything to the child. Okay, so this proves the Sagada of cessation. With the help of the Sagada of cessation, the Buddha being endowed with the Sagada of cessation, with this we come to see that the Buddha is the one who actually protects the beings so well. So if this is somebody you have found, somebody who is protecting the beings by giving teaching so correctly, and that too fully, giving everything fully, if you find somebody like this, will you seek that person as a reliable guide or not? Yes, therefore he or she is the reliable guide. Okay, reference number 73. Second, how the Buddha as a reliable guide is arose. Instead of arose, make it is established. Second, reference number 73. Reference number 73. Second, how the Buddha as the reliable guide is established from those factors rather than causes. From those factors, four factors. From the four factors. Why? Okay, you give me the answer. So, what I earlier put is how the Buddha as a reliable guide arose from those causes, because I was trying to be as loyal to the original text. One, and number two, I was doing that in little haste, because I was doing that in 20 days. In 20 days, I was doing the translation along with my personal retreat. So therefore, I was trying to, as long as the meanings or what is written there, translation, it's very close to the original, I'm happy. Okay, now, after all these things, I'm getting opportunity to go through this over and over again. So I could see one mistake if I translate like this. Is there anyone who can help me to tell how, what makes me think that the original one, the way printed here, needs to be modified? Say the original print has it, how the Buddha as the reliable guide arose from these causes. And I changed it now. How the Buddha as the reliable guide is established from these factors. Anyone? Yes, Man?
The first two are causes, the next two are results.
Okay, how does this answer? My question to you is, how the Buddha as the reliable guide arose from these four causes? Okay, you mean to say that of the four, all the four are not causes. All the four are not causes.
No, two are causes.
Okay, protector is not the cause. The two are results.
Yes.
Results and cause, these two mean the same. What is the cause should be result, what is the result should be cause, right? Man, are you result or cause?
No, cause for the result.
Okay,
which
Man,
is
are you
maybe the cause for something else?
Okay, Man, are you a cause or effect, or cause or result? You are both, right? What is the cause to be result? What is the result to be cause? But a cause with respect, the cause of this flower, the cause with respect to this flower cannot be the effect with respect to this flower. Generally, cause and effect are synonymous, but the cause and effect with respect to one object, these two are contradictory. The cause of this flower and the effect of this flower, these two are contradictory. Cause of this flower should precede the flower, should not follow this flower. Effect of this flower should follow this flower, not precede. So the cause and effect with respect to one object are contradictory. Cause and effect in general are synonymous. This flower is cause, yes, no? Hey, what makes you think this is cause? Quick. How is this a cause, Kim?
Because the next moment of this flower.
Exactly. This is a cause. This is a cause because the next moment of the flower is going to come. Tomorrow, although we are not here, still this flower is going to be here. Right? So therefore, this flower is going to be the cause of the next moment, tomorrow's flower. Okay, is this the effect or not? Regina, how is this the effect?
Because it's the effect of the previous moment.
Exactly. It's the effect of the previous moment. So this flower is a cause as well as effect. You think of any cause, that should be effect of something else. You think of any effect, that should be the cause of something else. But cause and effect are contradictory. They are contradictory with respect to one particular object. Cause and effect in general are synonymous. Cause and effect are contradictory, not synonymous and contradictory with respect to one object. Okay. So the manla did not fulfill the answer. Okay, anybody? Okay, my question is, okay, I changed the position here, reference, the outline. Reference 73, I said, second, how the Buddha, the print has it, how the Buddha as the reliable guide arose from those causes. Then I change it now, how the Buddha as the reliable guide is established from those factors. Why do I have to change it? Anybody? Very quick. Very quick. Oh, yes, sipping.
I just try. It's because those are not four causes like Man say, but it's progressive. There's a cause from compassion, then it became
Given rise to the teacher, Sagada,
and then protector.
Yes.
It does not arise out of this four.
Sorry?
All together, it does not arise out of these four together at one time.
Okay, it arose from all four together.
Yeah, not together.
Then not together,
It's
then?
just progressive.
But sequential?
Yes.
Okay, then I should change, I should give the word sequential here. Right, instead of how I change it now. Okay, anybody? Oh, yes. Jason? No, Alex.
Maybe you just want to let us understand that we are using the reverse.
Slowly. You're very young. You're speaking so fast. We're old. Speak slowly.
You just want us to understand that we are using the reverse reasoning, because by using established through the four factors is using the reverse order.
Okay, so let's say how I put it newly now, how I modified it now, that's correct. The old version is also correct?
Yes,
Correct. I'm saying it's not correct. Anybody? Okay, Thai?
Is it because it's not sequential? I mean the last two stages?
Where did you say it's sequential?
The Sugata and the Protector, they are actually simultaneous.
I did not say it's sequential in the print.
Yeah, so they're actually simultaneous, so it's one
Simultaneous,
entity.
yes.
So they're actually one entity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
So if it's one entity, there shouldn't be any cause and effect.
No, the four are cause and effect. I did not say this even in the print. Even in the old version, there's no way you find that the four are mutually, the four are sequential. No, it doesn't say this. Anybody? Okay. Okay, Si Hong. Okay, now the captains fail.
Maybe this is like in your court, thereby this is the proof. After all this, the conclusion is thereby established. Without doubt, this is the reliable guide.
Okay, so you are supporting my new version.
Yeah.
New version, I agree. Old version is correct or not correct?
Yes, because
what I'm saying is old version is not correct. New version is correct. So how the old version is not correct? This is my question. Which one?
The old version said that said how the reliable guide arose from the four causes. That means all four should be causes for the reliable guide, and all four should precede the reliable guide. But the last two actually are not causes for reliable guide because they are simultaneous.
Okay.
So only two of them are causes.
Okay, the last two are not causes. These two are, they are not causes. They are effects, right?
They are effects not with respect to the reliable guide.
Okay, they are effects not with respect to the reliable guide, but they are effects.
Yes.
Okay. So if they're effects with respect to the reliable guide, then those become the causes. So the causes, there are not 4 causes. There are only 2 causes. This is what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so it says, in the print it says that from those causes, referring to from those 4 causes. So this is not correct. Okay, if you keep it 4, then if these 4 are seen as a cause, then the reliable guide cannot arise from this, because reliable guide and the remaining two, they are simultaneous, right? Okay, we're getting somewhere. Sharon?
Geshe, I was thinking maybe it's more of a grammar. When you say arose, it's like coming out from somewhere.
Yes.
But when you say establish, you have to prove it.
Okay, so no, the old print is wrong or new print is wrong?
The new print is right.
Old print is wrong.
The old print is not so right.
Okay, I'm saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
So why is wrong? So how it is not so right?
When you say factors, it doesn't mean there's any...
Factors is new.
Yeah,
new
factors,
version. I'm talking about the old version.
Oh.
How the old version is not correct.
I'm trying to say that when we use the word arose, it's like coming out from nowhere.
Coming out from the causes.
Yes.
Coming out from the causes is set there.
Yes. So when we establish, it's like factors that we have to prove to establish that he's a reliable guide. You have to come through a process of proving. It is not coming out from causes.
How not from the causes?
Because it's all original. Everything coming from him is from his own experience.
No, he also arose from causes, right? He's transformed.
Right.
Transform means that he is not permanent. He came from some causes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are getting somewhere. The point is, okay, oh, CJ?
Geshe, I thought you mentioned before that...
Okay, you also should need to speak slow.
I thought you mentioned before on a few days ago that the reason why you put a cause is because it's translated from Tibetan, and the word cause in Tibetan can mean cause or reason. So it's like, you're talking about reason.
That's interesting, wow.
So you're actually talking about the 4 factors
that's
to
interesting.
prove. Yeah.
Okay, from these 4 causes, from those causes.
Yes, you mentioned.
Okay, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, very interesting. It was from those causes. From those causes is the cause. Okay, now I fully appreciate what CJ said, but one thing that I will share with you is arose from causes. Causes arose from these causes. The causes, in this sense, the causes is a verb, noun, adjective, adverb. What is that? It's noun. It's noun. You're getting it? So when I said something is a cause, something caused that. Something caused that is what? Adjective, noun, verb, adverb. It's a verb. So mainly in the context of the verb, something caused that has a connotation. Oh, even the noun, yes. So this is quite tricky. What CJ said is perfect. So it's a cause. In Tibetan and in Sanskrit, it has both connotations. Cause as the cause as what? Cause as opposed to effects, or the cause in the form of reason. Both are applicable. Okay, this is good. This is good. But I said me as a very natural. Okay, how it comes to me is like how the Buddha as the reliable guide arose. Arose means how Shirin says arose has a connotation of causally coming into being. Arose having connotation of causally coming into being, which means that it is causally coming from some causes. Causally coming means sequential. So the way the Vichan said, It is a connotation of being sequence. If it is sequence, the reliable guide should sequentially come from the causes, the four causes. If these four factors are said to be as causes for the reasons or cause whatever, but if it arose from that, it should be the effect of these four. And it is not the effect of these four, because the reliable guide and the later two factors of the four, later 2 points of the four, these three are simultaneous. The moment you become a Sagada, the moment you become the what? Protector, the moment you become the reliable guide, these three are synonymous. If these two are synonymous, how can we prove one from another? That's a different story. For example, the flower is impermanent because it is a product. Product and impermanence, these two are simultaneous or not? These two are simultaneous, but the flower being impermanent is very subtle. The flower being product is very gross. Although these two are simultaneous, one is subtle and one is gross. So understand the gross will take us to understand the subtler one. Likewise, what is that? Protector. Protector is grosser than somebody being a reliable guide. Protector is grosser than someone being a reliable guide in a very subtle way. Right? So when you see that somebody is really protecting beings from there, okay, from this you will get the aspiration, will get the desire, wish that I should seek his or her help. I should seek him or her as my reliable guide. Okay. Very good point. Thank you all. This is very good. Now from this 146a, therefore, having seen that the Tathagata is through giving teachings, protecting the beings, and that he has perfected in protected beings for two reasons. One, that he is protecting the beings by giving teachings. Number two, the potential for him to protect the beings has been perfected or consummated. One, he's giving teachings. He's the reliable Tathagata. Therefore, the Tathagata is the reliable guide because he protects the beings by giving teachings, and the potential to give teachings has consummated in him or has perfected in him. Okay, with this reasoning of being a protector, we prove that the Tathagata is the reliable guide for somebody who aspires to seek liberation, who aspires for liberation, right? So that okay, we can put it like this: the Tathagata is the reliable guide for those who seek liberation, not for anybody. Tathagata as the topic is the reliable guide for those who seek liberation from samsara, because he protects the beings by giving teachings, and his ability to give teachings has perfected or has been consummated, has perfected. Okay, so we finish. Okay, Tathagata as the topic is the reliable guide for the aspirants of liberation from samsara. Tathagata as the reliable guide. Tathagata as the topic is the reliable guide for the aspirants of liberation from samsara, because he protects the beings by giving teachings, and his ability to give teachings has been perfected, has been consummated, has been perfected. Okay, so this reasoning encompasses the reasoning of the protector to prove the Tathagata as the reliable guide for the aspirants of the nirvana, or aspirants of liberation from samsara. Okay, we are done. Okay, so then the second half, which we're going to do next year, reads, or he's the protector, as he taught the Four Noble Truths from his own experience. Okay, we'll stop here. The second session, question and answers.